अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी वयस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़िहना फ़िद्दीन। अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अस्अलुका इल्मन नाफ़िआ व रिज़्क़न तय्यिबा व अमलन मुतक़ब्बला आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन। So here we are with our session for intermediate group, in which we are going to do Suratul Feel again, and I'm going to start today's session with a question that was asked. So there was a question on different types of la that negates Jumla Ismiya. So who can remind me what are the different types of la that can negate Jumla Ismiya? The different types of la that can negate Jumla Ismiya are La Nafiyatul lil Jins, yes, and then there is um, La Nafiyat lil Wahda, La Nafiyatul lil Jins, La Nafiyatul lil Wahda, and then there is another one. There is Jumla Ismiya can be negated by Lata, which is hyperbolic form of La Nafiya. Very good job. Very good job. La Nafiyatul lil Jins, La Nafiya Muhmila, La Nafiya Lil Wahda and Lata. Very good job. So Sister Faiz already has written Muhmila as well. I just skipped that. So there are four different types of La that are used to negate Jumla Ismiya in particular, right? Um, yes. So La Nafiya Al-Muhmila, La Nafiya lil Jins, La Nafiya Mushabba bi Laysa, also called La Nafiya Al-Amila, and it's also La Nafiya lil Wahda. You would have seen it in your slides. And then there was a Lata, right? So the question was, how is Al-Muhmila different from La Nafiya lil Jins or La Nafiya lil Wahda? What do you think? How can it be different? How will you, differentiate between different types of laws when it comes to why one is used over other? So yeah, no, it's not just light and heavy, not at all. It's not just about the grammatical difference. Remember, if you remember in your intensive, you have gone over a slide where I showed you a difference between la nafiyatul lil jins and la nafiyatul lil wahda, right? So la nafiyatul lil wahda, when it comes to that, or la al amila mushabba bilaysa, as the name indicate, you should know that that la works like laysa, right? And both its ism and its khabar have to be, both ism and khabar, its ism and khabar have to be common. Very good job. And they also have to be right next to la. Also, they cannot be an illa between mubtada or between ismu la and khabru la, right? All those conditions are necessary, right? So if I give you an example, the same example that you have seen before, where you find la rajulun qaimun, give me the translation for that. Give me the translation for la rajulun qaimun. A man, a man is no. La rajulun qaimun. Okay, a man is not. Okay, and now listen to this one. La rajulun qaiman. La rajulun qaiman. A man is not standing, right? No. A man is not standing, right? We're talking about one man. A man is not standing. Is this clear? A man is not standing. Now, la rajula qaimun. La rajula qaimun. Now, what will be the, not a single man is standing, right? You not just took into consideration one man, but the entire species of men was taken into consideration when negation was done with this la nafiya to lil jins. When you used la nafiya lil wahda, did it consider the entire species of men, or it was just talking about one man not standing? It just talked about one man not standing. Now, if I say La Muhammadun, La Muhammadun قائم. لا محمد قائم. How will you translate? Translate? I'm asking for translation. I'm not asking for Muhammad is not standing, right? Muhammad is not standing. But now when I said la Muhammadun qaimun, you understand which type of la am I using? I'm using la al-muhmila, la nafi al-muhmila. And this is why it is important for you to know, it is important for you to know that how they are different. When you are noticing the differences, this is where you learn what the function of each one is. So the first one on this slide is the one that works like laysa, qaiman. Its khabar is nasb in status. Its khabar can have ba zaida, and this one just works like laysa, and it is going to be just taking into consideration only one entity that is being talked, right? Only the subject is taken into consideration. True or false, right? Only the subject of la is taken into consideration. For the second one, la nafiyatul lil jins, the one commonly used in Quran, the entire species is taken into consideration. The entire species of men, the entire species of uh, doubts, or entire species of forcing, or so on and so forth, the anything, whatever is the subject, it is not just taking into consideration one particular entity, the one entity that is being negated, but the entire species of that is being negated. And this one is going to be making this thing easy. This rajul example makes things easy because it is easy to understand, right? Or for example, when I gave you example of khawfa, la khawfa mawjudun, something like that. Remember, we did that example. Now you also understand that not a single type of fear is going to be present for them, right? On that day, we did one example like that, right? So, or la raiba, right? So those all you understand all the different, every species of doubt, every species of fear, every type of fear has been taken into consideration when negation is done by la nafiyatul lil jins. But what to do when you have to talk about something specific, something proper, when we have to negate a subject that is proper, when the negation is to be done for a subject that is proper, you are going to simply use la nafiya al muhmila. If that makes sense, type 1. It is not that rocket science. It is just to explain to you a very simple concept that if you have to negate something proper, for example, there is no hydrophobia, or there is no claustrophobia that day. If it was to be like that, so which one am I going to use? Am I going to use lil wahda, or lil jins, or la nafiya lil al muhmila? When I'm talking about one particular type of fear, one fear that is, and one particular type of fear, and which is proper, and the fear that is known to both listener and the speaker, I'm going to be bringing in an al in the beginning, or my subject is going to be proper otherwise, and then I can use la nafiya al muhmila. Sister Zarina, is the sister who has asked this question present in the class now? No, she's not there. Okay, yeah, you can give me her name, and you can send her the record. You can tell her that to listen to the recording. Okay, inshallah. So yeah, so I hope this is clear to all of you how you are going to differentiate between different types of la nafiya. Is this clear? Right, everyone? Is it wrong to say no man is standing? Where are we? Which one are we talking about? A man is not standing. A man is not standing is going to be like la rajulun qa'iman. Not a single man is standing, or it's going to be um, um, don't no man is standing. No, a man is, no, no. It's talking about wahda. It is taking into consideration one entity. Sister Rahat, that is the difference between la nafiyatul jins and la nafiya lil wahda, right? It is going to talk about one entity, that is the subject in the sentence, and that subject is rajulun in here, and that is what is being negated by this la nafiya, which is also given this name. In addition to a name given al amila, it is called lil wahda because it is specific for the subject in the ayah, or in an example. Okay, when you say no man is standing, is it talking about one man, or is it talking about the entire species of man? When no man is standing, hundred of them, yeah, it is taking into consideration entire species. So no man is standing could be the definite translation for this one, la rajula qaimun. Then that means that you are using la nafiyatul lil jins, right? In that case, if you are using that translation, for that translation, la nafiyatul lil jins is going to be used, right? But if you are considering only, you're negating the, taking into consideration the subject only, the subject of the sentence, then it's going to be la nafiya lil wahda, okay, or la nafiya al amila, which works like laysa. Okay, so I hope this is clear to each and every one of you, and how they are different should be very clear as well. That, you know, when you have to negate something proper, you can use la nafiya al muhmila, if that makes sense. La nafiya for one entity, and la nafiya lil jins for the entire species. So, Sister Sajida, for entire species, la nafiya to lil jins, if that is clear. La nafiya lil wahda, just one entity. La nafiya al muhmila, if your subject is proper, or if it is not present right next to la, or if there is an illa present between subject and the predicate, between the mubtada and khabar, if you find illa, or if your subject is proper, then you have to use la nafiya muhmila. Okay, and then the last one is that is used to negate jumla ismiya is lata, and this is very, this has been explained. I hope you all understand how is lata different from all these different types of las that have been mentioned here, which is hyperbolic, la nafiya. How is it different? Well, how is yes, it's khabar and it's ism. Both are going to have something to do with time, right? Both cannot be present at the same time. Both are going to be mudaf. Whichever is present, it is going to be mudaf, and its khabar is always going to be nasbin status. Remember that its khabar is always nasbin status, because it also works like laysa. Is this clear? One is absent. Very good job. So either a subject is going to be present, or the khabar is going to be present, only and only time, and that has been explained, and this class is not for lata or any of that, but it has to do with time. It has to do with time. Yeah, if you go back to your notes, you will find how lata is going to be negating a sentence, and its ism and or its khabar, whichever is present, it has to do with time. That's okay if you forgot. That is why you need to go back and listen to the class again, if if there's any confusion, or go back to review your notes. Okay, inshallah. Because your teacher is a full-time physician, and there is only so much review that can be given. Okay, inshallah. So I also have other responsibilities just like yourselves. So yeah. So always make sure you make some time out for recordings, because otherwise sometimes, if and some of you are very new to all this, so it's going to take some time, and that's totally fine. But always try to make some time out, for to go back to the recording if there is something that is not clear. The question was asked, and therefore, that's why I like to answer questions. Whatever questions come to us, we try to address them in class, so everyone benefit from those questions. I try to avoid giving private answers for the same reason, so that everyone can benefit from the questions that have been brought to us. Okay, inshallah. So I hope this gave you some clarity which one to use, which type of la to use in any particular situation. And we are going to now come back to our surah. Okay, so istifham in word as well. Inkari. Okay. So yeah, so we are not currently going over istifham. That is a topic that is very advanced for this class. I have realized that there is a lot of gaps that have to be filled before we go over different types of istifham. Therefore, I just introduced you all to different types of questions, tools of istifham, right? I have brought them to you, and then what are the different types of questions. Either it's going to be istifham hakiki or majazi, and then we went over that when it comes to hakiki, you can further subclassify it, istifham lit tasawwur, istifham lit tasdeeq, right? And then when it comes to your istifham majazi, there are various reasons for your istifham majazi, and inshallah, when I'm going to, and these have been all shared with you in your Google Drive. If you don't have access to that, you can always reach out to Sister Zarina. She can help you with that. If anyone has any anywhere, if you don't have any know how to access those slides. Okay, so she can always help you with the slides and with which lecture to go to. And also and also you do have in here also I have what are the different purposes of istifham that you can when it comes to rhetorical questions, there are different reasons why the questions are being asked. But before we go into take a deep dive into why different types of questions are asked, it was very important to address the basic grammar, because istifham is is a topic that was introduced to my students. I introduced them to my students after they were well versed with condition, after they were well versed with qasam, after they were well versed with a lot of that most of you have attended, I think, intensive, and all the 10 in topics that we have covered in intensive. When once I had made sure that they know all those topics, then we took the next step, and they go have gone over the istifham and all that with me. But inshallah, there should be no problem with us sharing with you the different slides on the benefits of rhetorical question. And you can see the slide is there, but I had to you know keep the information for now, because we still have a lot to cover before we go on to do that, inshallah. So bismillah rahman rahim, let's come to the today's session. In the last session, I have shown you lam. How many of you have understood lam completely? Type 1 if you are now well versed with the use of lam. Why is lam used to negate in the past instead of lamma? Who can tell me one difference why lam is used instead of lamma? So it was always a tradition with Quranic Arabic grammar. Before we used to take another topic or we used to do something new, we always used to have a 15 to 20-minute review first. Okay, so I'm going to do the same so that we make sure we have already learned, right? Okay, so not a chance to happen, still a chance. Okay, so action took place once, not continuously. With lam, with lam, when it comes to lam, when it comes to lam and fail mudari, this denotes continuity. Okay, so it when it is negation is done by lam with fail mudari, it denotes istimrar, continuity. It denotes istimrar, right? In the last session, Alhamdulillah, you were shown these slides. If I am not mistaken, I have shown you these slides, right? So kindly, whenever you are coming to class, make sure you review whatever has been done in the past, and for to be to benefit from this course, the review is going to be very important. Okay, just to let you know. So when it comes to lam and mudare, it will show that action has there's a continuity, right? Whereas with ma and fail madin, there's no continuity, right? And then when it comes to lam, it is going to negate the subject in question, right? So lam tara, when you are shown, did you not see, though this is a rhetorical question, but just if it was not a part of a rhetorical question, if I just show you this lam tara, you did not see, but were there others who saw what happened? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dealt with the people of elephants, right? There were others who were seeing that, right? So see how the subject of the action, it is not, it is negating that prophet may have not seen, but there are others who were able to see, right? If you take it out of context, then it this can apply in here, right? Another thing is when it is lam and lamma, when it is lam versus lamma, I think there was an answer here. Lamma indicate from the past to until now. Very good job, Sister Sajida, right? So up until the time of conversation, action has not yet happened, right? But with lam, what is there which is not, how you will differentiate? Lam is less emphatic compared to ma. Lam is less emphatic compared to ma. But when I compare lam with lamma, it would be that you may have not seen it in the past up until the time of conversation, but it may happen in future. There is an expectation the action may happen in future. Isn't it? Right? With lamma, there is an expectation that action may happen in future. However, with lam, there is no expectation. There is no such expectation. If you go back, you will find with lamma, it is used for the past with expectation that action may happen in future, but with lam, with there is no such expectation, right? There is no such expectation. And you already have told me that with lam, it is negating something that has happened in the past but may not apply to the time of conversation, right? So it may not apply to the time when the conversation was happening. Whatever it was negating may be the negation of the past, but it is not, it may not apply to when the conversation is happening, right? The condition is not there when the conversation is happening. Is this clear to all of you? Alhamdulillah. So don't just type one. Make sure it is clear, because I'm going to, inshallah, keep on asking these questions. Okay. So when it comes to kaifa, very simple answer. Nothing hard, nothing difficult. Always remember, it is going to be ism istifam, yes, and if it is followed by fail, which is tam, it is going to be simply labeled as hal. If it is going to be followed by fail tam, and also if it is followed by fail nakis that already has its khabar present, it is going to be hal. There should be no confusion about that. Okay, everyone with me so far? If kaifa is followed by nakis, if Kaifa is followed by nakis that does not have its khabar. Sister Faiza, don't answer yet, okay? If kaifa is followed by nakis that does not have its khabar, what will be the labeling for kaifa? There is an answer already there. Mm, It is going to be khabar muqaddam. It is very good job. So it is going to, no, no, no. It's not about nasb. It is not about nasb. You have to give me the answer first, okay? Obviously, it is going to be nasb because, but why nasb? In every situation, probably it is, or it is, it's the same, but you have to tell me its role. You have to know its role, right? So it is going to be khabru fail nakis in that case. Kaifa kana akibatul something there was there that you have covered. I forgot the I don't want to misquote it, but always remember that in case it is followed by fail nakis that does not have its khabar, it is going to be khabar of the fail nakis. But if the fail nakis already has its khabar, it's going to be just simply labeled as hal. Okay, in jumla ismiya, if you find kaifa in jumla ismiya, what is one labeling? It is only and only going to be khabar. And in this case, when it comes to the type of taqdeem, you have learned two types of taqdeem, right? Taqdeem is going to be of two types, right? So it is going to be very good job. It is going to be wajib taqdeem of khabar over mubtada. And why so? Why so? Because istifham has sidara in kalam. Istifham has sidara in kalam. Very good job. Very well done. So they are always going to be in the beginning. They always istifham. You do not, in just like in English, how are you doing? You are doing how is not possible. Similarly, in Arabic, the same rule applies. Kaifa haluk. It is never going to be haluk or kaifa. Kaifa is always going to be in the beginning, and this is one of the very few cases when you will find similarities between an English language and Arabic language. Otherwise, there are a lot of differences you will find, right? So in when you it comes to questions, the question words, anytime there is a word that with which you have to ask a question, it has to be in the beginning. And when something has to be in the beginning, we say that this word has sadara in kalam. It, right, it has it for it is a sadara, that it is always going to be in the beginning of the kalam. Okay, so keep in mind that. Okay, so I think some of you have, alhamdulillah, or if not all, have understood how to label kaifa, how to find a difference between lam, lamma, and ma. Make sure you keep on looking at those differences, because one surah, when you cover one surah, it is going to enlighten you to, it is going to clarify things for you for the future surahs to come. Okay, if you are going to understand and apply those rules on your own when you are doing analysis of any surah in Quran or any ayah of Quran. Okay, inshallah. So the next ayah of this surah, have we covered lam yaj'al, or we were just covering the first part, right? We have not covered it, right? Okay, so there was a question about who is the sahibul hal for kaifa, when kaifa is labeled as hal. So did you all figure out whose hal was kaifa? And this was very easy, right? So there was a question that if we are labeling kaifa as hal, what is the sahibul hal? Sahibul hal is ashabul fil, right? Sahibul hal is ashabul fil, right? So kaifa fa'ala rabbuk bi ashabil fil. So this is going to be the sahibul hal is ashabul fil, right? There is no ambiguity about it, right? We are talking about the hal of ashabul fil. Very good job. Now it is later. So why is it later? It's just been explained, because kaifa has to be in the beginning. Kaifa has to be in the beginning. So There is no permissibility of فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ كَيْفَ. That is not an allowance there. So therefore, kaifa has to be in the beginning. So in this case, there is a permissibility, right? For hal to be before sahibul hal. Is this clear, everyone? And we have covered 6 cases. Who can remind me of 6 cases? Now you guys are taking me on tangents for no reason. Who can remind me of 6 cases where you are going to um or not the 6 cases, but those were for something else. But tell me a case when it is when your hal can be before sahibul hal. One case when your hal can be. Very good job. Very good job. Very good job. So, if in case your sahibul hal, when your sahibul hal is common, hal is going to be, you will find that hal can be before sahibul hal. Very good job. Very well done. And that is actually the reason for sahibul hal to be common. That is actually a rationale or permissibility for sahibul hal to be common when hal is before sahibul hal. But keep in mind that there are cases when we have seen hal was present before sahibul hal, and you have done very many cases of that with me, right? Where jar wal majroor, you have labeled it as hal, that came before common ism, right? And why so? Because your ism was common. Why I usually ask you this question, why is this sahibul hal common? And you usually answer me that because your hal is muqaddam. In that case, there is a permissibility for sahibul hal to be common. But yes, and we are doing it some other way. We are you know how we look at things from different angles. So what this is what we are doing right now. So now let's go to ayah number 2, Hamzatul Istifham. Hamzatul Istifham again is there, and when it comes to Hamzatul Istifham, among the 3 types of words, you are going to categorize it as harf, and it is going to have no i'rab, right? It has no i'rab. Is it flexible? If I ask you what is this word in terms of flexibility? Why is what is it? Is non-flexible word, so it is mabni. You all know that this is mabni. And if it is mabni, is it mabni al fatha, mabni al sakun, or mabni al dam? What is that? It is mabni al fath. Very good job. Then comes your lam. Lam, you have already learned in detail. Again, it is going to be put in harf category, right? And it is going to be again mabni. Alas, in here, it is mabni al fath, or al dam, al kasr, or al sukoon. It is going to be mabni al sukoon. It is sukoon here, right? Mabni al sukoon. When you have mabni al sukoon and the word is a harf, when it comes to the status of the word, which is a harf, what status is it going to have? La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Very good job. Very good job. It is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. It is harf nafihin wa jazmin wa qalbin. What is another harf which is nafihin wa qalbin wa jazmin? Lamma. Very good job. Lamma. Not, it is because lan is not harf jazmin. It is harf nasbin, right? Lamma is another word which is harf nafiyin wa jasmin wa kalbin. So Spicer, you have to slow down. You privately message me your answer. So I want to see where the rest of them are going. So please kindly privately message me. So yaj'al. Yaj'al. When you look at yaj'al, this is going to be Yaj'al, and among the 3 categories, it is fail mudare. Very good job. After you figured out this is fail mudare, what are you going to look at? Alamatul mudare, right? Alamatul mudare is going to be yaul mudare, right? And then it's going to be the status of mudare. The status is majzoom because of lam. Then the next thing is with every fail ATP, right? Action time pronoun. And what is a pronoun in this one? It is huwa yaj'al, right? It is huwa yaj'al. Everything is very clear. You don't see anything outside it. And that is also a possibility. You're not going to go haywire about that, that why there is nothing mentioned after it, right? Sometimes there are words where you are not going to see any outside doer after huwa, right? There are many af'al that are huwa here, but there is no outside doer, right? Um, but who is this talking about? This huwa, what do you know? What is it referring to? Rab. Yes, so it's in here, it is Rabbu, it is Rabbuk, because there is no Lafzul Jalala here, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described himself as Rabb in this ayah, right? So it is Rabbuk, right? It goes back to the word Rabbuk, who is Yaudu Allah, Rabbuk, and then comes your Yaj'al, and then Kaidahum. Kaidahum is going to become Mafulun bihi Kaida, and hum is going to be Majroor bil idafa, right? Kaida hum. First word light, no alif lam, hum is going to be mudaf ilayhi. Anytime pronoun comes with an ism, there is going to be an idafa. Everyone should know that, right? For sure. Then comes fi tadlil. Fi tadlil. So then again another jar wal majroor, right? So in here, so let's just ask you, you already have seen the answer though. How are you going to take this? How are you going to treat this one? This is going to be, this is going to be your mutalik bil fail or what? So if there is a ja'ala, if there is a ja'ala, and among the different types of ja'ala, ja'ala is of how many types? How many types of ja'ala are there? Who can tell me? There are three types of ja'ala that we have covered in our course. Not two. There are three types of ja'ala that I have covered with you guys, and let me show you how you're going to deal with that. When it comes to type of ja'ala, why am I thinking I have shown you this one? So when it comes to ja'ala, there are how many types? You are seeing there are three types, right? So ja'ala can be in the meaning of hawwala, which means to transform, which means to transform, and in when it is in the meaning of transformation, conversion, change, it is going to take two mafulun bihi. Okay, it takes two maful bihis when it is used in the meaning of hawwala. Is this clear to all of you? When it is used in the meaning of Hawala, it is going to be from sisters of Zanna. It is going to be from the sisters of Zanna. And you will find two maful bihis after it. Okay. And you will find there is something that got converted into something else. Okay. Inshallah. Then comes Aja'ala, which is used in the meaning of Khalaqa. And how will you figure that one out? You will only find one mafulun bihi after that ja'ala. And with the context, it's going to be very easy for you to understand it. وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَاجًا. And we made a burning lamp. We made a burning lamp. So in here, sirajan is going to be mafulun bihi for ja'alna. Wahajan is a sifa. So how many mafulun bihis are there in this example? There is only one. So you are going to say that this in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using ja'ala in the meaning of khalaqa. In the meaning of khalaqa. Is this clear? How many of you are with me so far? Type 1 if you are understanding this so far. The third type of ja'ala is the one that has a meaning of to start. Okay? Ja'ala has a meaning of to start. Bimani bada'a or shara'a. Okay? In here, it is treated as, and when it works like that, it is fail naqis. How you take that ja'ala, which has a meaning of he began to, or it began to, it started to, you treat it as fail naqis. Because if I give you ja'alan najjaru yaduqul khashab, the carpenter started to. When ja'ala is in the meaning of started to, does it give you does it convey a complete thought? Does it have an action? Started to, is there any action? No. So when a fail lacks an action, the fail is going to be called tam or naqis? What is a name given to a field that lacks an action? It becomes naqis. There is a loss of something, right? It becomes naqis, right? So in here, the carpenter started to does not convey a complete thought. Now this ja'ala is going to have a fail mudare as its khabar, which is in here is yaduqu, which means to hammer. Al khashaba, the wood. The carpenter started to hammer the wood. So yadukul khashaba is going to be the khabru ja'ala, and if it is khabru ja'ala, what will be the status? And I want all my senior students not to type the answer yet. I want others to type, and all the juniors to type and see if they know what it means. Fi mahalli nasbin. Very good job. The khabar is going to be fi mahalli nasbin, not rough. Not rough. Remember, when it comes to fail naqis, when it comes to fail naqis, there also fail nasikh. The khabar is going to become nasb in status. It's their khabar. When the fail is naqis, its khabar is always nasb in status. It changes the status of a khabar of standard jumla ismiya from raf to nasb. That is why the fail naqis is also given this name nasikh. Everyone with me so far? Are you understanding the concept of af'alun nasikha? Yes, they cancel the status of the khabar from raf to nasb. Yes, this is not in Quran like this example of ashuru. Yes, this example is from yes, this one ashuru has not been used in Quran. Absolutely, uh, it has not been used in Quran. So everyone got it? That how many types of ja'ala are there? There are three types of ja'ala. Either it's going to be a tahweel, which means transformation, al khalaqa, creation, ashuru, to start or beginning. Right? Clear? And then you are going to see two mafulun bihis for the one that has a meaning of hawala, only one mafulun bihi if it is used in the meaning of khalaqa. And what is special about ja'ala, which is fail naqis and nasikh? What is going to be its khabar? What is going to be the khabar of this ja'ala? It is going to be fi mahali nasbin, but what type of khabar is going to be there for this one? When it comes to af'alu shuru, I showed you a slide. I showed you a slide in the last session about the different types of af'al. I think I may have, when it comes to, in the past few days, you have been shown this slide, which I am going to show to you, that when it comes to different classification of your af'al, when you classify kana and the rest of the sisters, and fail nakis in particular, when it comes to classification of fail nakis, in here I showed you this slide, right? And now I remember, I was not able to see it because it was taken from here, and in here I showed you that when it comes to fail in classification of a fail based on whether it has an action or not, based on the khabar, you can classify fail naqis as kana wa akhawatuha, that can have any type of khabar, right? Its khabar can be mufrad ism, shubu jumla, and jumla. But when it comes to kada wa akhwatuha, which also has af'alu shuru that include akhadha, ja'ala, shar'a, their khabar is only going to be jumla fail ya fail mudare. Jumla fail ya fail mudare is the only khabar possible for kada wa akhwatuha, and afalu shuru fall in the same category along with kada wa akhwatuha. So anytime you will have a ja'ala, it's not in Quran, but elsewhere, if you find ja'ala, what will you find its khabar as? The third type of ja'ala, which is in the meaning of shara'a or bada'a, its khabar is always going to be fail mudari. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you now. Now, we are going to see many a times you are not going to find two two isms that are nasb in status after ja'ala, right? Many a times you may not find two isms that are nasb in status after ja'ala. So, and in here, when you see kaidahum, there is one mafulun bihi, but fi tadlilin, you are seeing a jar wal majroor, right? You are seeing a jar wal majroor. So, is there how are you which type of ja'ala you are going to treat it as? Are you going to treat it as ja'ala bimani hawala, or ja'ala bimani khalaqa, or you are going to treat it as ja'ala bimani shar'a? It remains as tahweel. It is going to be from the type of ja'ala that has a meaning of tahweel. So in here, this jar wal majroor, if you treat it as the ja'ala from the sisters of Zanna wa akhwatuha, there is a way how you treat this jar wal majroor. You are going to say that this is jar wal majroor muta'alliq bi mafulun bihi sanin mahzuf, right? It is going to be muta'alliq bil mafulun bihi sanin mahzuf, right? Is this clear to each and every one of you how to label it? Right? You can just every time you find ja'ala where the second mafulun bihi is not in nasb form, or it seems like it is jar wal majroor instead of another nasb ism, you are going to label this fi tadlilin as jar wal majroor muta'alliq bi mafulun bihi thanin mahzuf. Okay, so this is going to be how you are going to label it as. Could this jala be replaced with tadlilan? No, you cannot. You cannot. You cannot change words in Quran. You cannot change words in Quran based on, certain words will require a jar wal majroor. Harjar is needed in many cases, and the same happens in rest of the cases in Quran as well. You will find that there is always a sentence jumla ismiya with just a mubtada and a jar wal majroor in it, right? So instead of making it tadlilan, you are going to keep it as such, and you are going to label this part as I've told you. Okay. If it is not clear, I'm going to show you something in a bit that can help you understand it a little better. I hope that I have that Google Doc somewhere, because I was just looking at that this morning. Okay, here, I think this one was that. So, here, you see here, waj'alli waziran. Waj'alli waziran. In here, what do you think? And make for me a wazir, a supporter. What do you think is a type of ja'ala in here? The type one, tahweel, right? Tahweel, everyone? What do you think? To make someone, to change someone into something else, right? Make him a supporter for me, right? So in here, li waziran, what did I tell you about ja'ala or zanna wa akhwatuha in the last session? What type of sentence they enter, and what are they doing to a sentence? Anyone remember? How did I teach you about them? There was a slide that I was missing and I was going haywire about it. That they enter a jumla ismiya. You have to understand Zanna, when you look at this picture, the Zanna and its sisters, the whole family, what do they do is they enter a jumla and they are making the mubtada, they are turning a mubtada into mafulun bihi awwal, and the predicate becomes mafulun bihi sanin. Okay. In case of mafulun bihi sanin, it can be a single ism, jumla ismiya, jumla felia, prepositional phrase, like just like the khabar of jumla ismiya. You have to understand it very clearly, right? They are called al af'alun nasikha because they are changing mubtada from rafin to nasb. Therefore, they are called af'alun nasikha. Let me show you. Okay, so a person who was not a supporter, and now he's changed into a supporter. Is it not a change? From a person, from a regular person, if you become the mayor of the city, is there any transformation on conversion? Hmm? Yes or no? If a person who was just a regular person, right? And now he's changed into a mayor of the city, or a mayor, just think about, you Mamdani, from a regular guy, he has been, now a mayor. Is there any change? From a just a regular, I think he was, what did he used to do? Sifaiza knows more about it, that he used to do a lot of rap music and all that. But now he's a mayor of the city, right? Right? So from rap turning into the mayor of the city, doing, taking upon a major responsibility, is there a conversion or transformation? Are we seeing any transformation? Yes or no? How many of you think there is a transformation? You have to understand it like that. Similarly, when you have there is a brother, there may be six family members of yours. If one family members start to support your mission, are they not becoming your wazir, your supporter, your helper in your low times, in your good times, in your bad times? Isn't it? Right? This is what he was asking for. So if I have to, are you getting my point, Sister Mio? Are you with me? I think there is still a gap. So let's just see one example. So here, فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. I think this was something that I wanted to show you in the last session as well. Basically, it was huwa haba'um mansur. So it is a dispersed dust. So when ja'alna entered upon it, so this huwa became the first mafulun bihi, and it got attached to ja'alna, and haba'an became mafulun bihi sanin for fail ja'alna. If this is clear, type 1, and if it is not, type 2. I will explain it to you, because this is where I was, coming to, before taking you to istifham, which is, I think, a much advanced topic. It is very important for you to have clear understanding of this topic, I think. So there are only one, two, three people who have understood. The rest are still confused about how this works. Okay, so see here. Can I make this into li wazirun? Can I make it li wazirun? Can I take it as a jumla ismiya? Can I make it into a jumla ismiya? Can I? I have a supporter. Hmm? And what will be the translation for li wazirun? Someone who has your back. Wazir is someone who has your back. In your good times, in your bad times, both, because it is sometimes very easy to support someone in their bad times, but it's hard to support in their good times. So li wazirun was your original sentence. Ij'al, fail ij'al entered the sentence, and you have now li as jar wal majroor. Jar wal majroor muta'alliq bi mahzoof, mafulun bihi sanin, and waziran becomes your mafulun bihi awwal. And why are we doing it like that? Why not calling li as mafulun bihi awwal, muta'alliq bi mahzoof, mafulun bihi awwal? Why not that? Do you all know why we treating it as mafulun bihi sanin? Because always remember that you have to have a mubtada, right? Your mubtada in here is going to be mafulun bihi awwal. When I change this one into jumla ismiya, li wazirun, mubtada is wazirun. So this one is going to be mafulun bihi awwal, and li is going to be treated as muta'alliq bi mahzoof mafulun bihi sanin. So from just a family member, now this person has been turned into, or has been transformed into, a supporter. Okay, this person from a regular brother or a regular sister, now the person is going to be a supporter of a mission, right? So in here, as you have all seen, that mubtada is always going to be mafulun bihi awal, therefore wazir becomes mafulun bihi awal and li becomes muta'alliq bi mahzuf mafulun bihi sanin. So in here, when you have what you have is kaidahum fi tadlilin. So what if I have to make it into jumla ismiya? What will be the jumla ismiya? I will just say kaiduhum fi tadlilin. Their plot is destruction, is mere destruction. Yes or no? Right? So kaiduhum fi tadlilin. So therefore kaidahum is going to be mafulun bihi awwal and fi tadlilin is going to be muta'alliq bi mahzuf mafulun bihi sanin. So are you guys getting a little bit of it? This ayah is clear to everyone how we are going to treat ja'ala. Alhamdulillah, right? Okay. So now and I have already explained that last type of ja'ala has not been used in Quran, so you are good. So we'll continue with the third verse of this beautiful surah, and here we have a vow. Wow is going to be atf. Okay, I'm going to take it as atf. Okay, very good job. Arsala is going to be among the three types of words. Give me which type of kalima is this one. This is fail, right? And in here, this is fail madin, right? And this is again talking about your Rabb, right? Who has sent upon them something, right? So arsala is huwa arsala. And in here, when it comes to damir, every fail has ATP. Action is to send. Tense, you already told me, past, and it is huwa arsala. So when it is huwa arsala, is it damir baris or mustatir? Mustatir. And huwa is damir mustatir in here. Very good job. Alayhim is going to be labeled as jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil fail. Tayran is going to be labeled as mafulun bihi. Ababila is going to be labeled as sifa. Very good job. Everyone got it? Any confusion about that? Now comes next tarmihim. When you see tarmi, what type of tarmihim is fail, and this is fail madin, mudare or failul amr. It is fail. Tarmi is fail madin. Ra, mim, ya are the root letters, guys. Tarmi, ra, mim, ya are the root letters. And ta is the alamatul mudare. So it is hiya tarmi. And in here, what is the status of your fail? It is marfu. And how many ways are there to show the rough status in fail mudare? There are three ways for fail mudare. There are three signs of alamatur. There are three alamatur rafa, right? Either it's going to be, give me the three alamatur raf. Dammatul zahira, dammatul muqaddara, and noon. Very good job. Dammatul zahira, dammatul muqaddara, and noon. Not ya. There is noon, like in words yansurani, tansuruna, tansurina, right? So noon, not hasbin noon, subutin noon. Subutin noon is going to be the alamatul raf, right? Alamatul raf is going to be the presence of noon. Either it's going to, or dhamma. Dhamma can be muqaddara, it can be zahira. But in here, do you see a dhamma on the ya? No, so it is dhammatul muqaddara, right? It is marfu bid dhammatul muqaddara alal ya, right? And him is going to be, ha is going to be mafulun bihi. And this meme at the end is mimul jama, which tells you that this third person is referring to masculine plural, jamai, mim li jamai zukur. Very good job. Very well done. So tarmihim bihijaratin, bihijaratin. So ترميهم بحجارة جار والمجرور متعلق بالفعل من سجيل. Common ism followed by jar والمجرور. Please don't call it بحجارة is متعلق بالفعل من سجيل is going to be the sifa for hijara, that these are the stones made up of baked clay. Right? Easy? Everyone got it? Right? Now, this sentence, when you look at this one, when you look at the whole surah, ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل. So, in here, how can you connect it to whatever has been mentioned before? And all my advanced students, feel free to answer. It can be hal. Who is your sahibul hal? Who is your sahibul hal? ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل. Is Rab your sahibul hal? Or they throw at them stones made up of clay. This is talking about Tayran. Tayran. So your sahibul hal in here is going to be Tayran. Right? Open your eyes. So basically, you have pronouns here. You have pronouns here, and this is actually the hal of ashabul feel. So can be him, but right there, it started with tarmi. Tarmi is hiya tarmi, going back to toiran, right? So it is the condition of the birds that they are throwing stones made up of clay on the people of ashabul feel, right? On the ashabul feel. But why is toiran, which is sahibul hal, proper? What should be the type of sahibul hal? It should be proper, but why is it allowed to be? Why is it common? Why is it common? Sifa, very good job. Because it is from this is one of the cases where it is permissible among the six cases that we have covered in our course. This is one of the case if your sahibul hal is mawsoof, if your sahibul hal is mawsoof, it is permissible for it to be common. Can I call this tarmihim sifa for tayran, another sifa for tayran? Can I call it a sifa? This sentence, jumla failure, can it be sifa for tayran? Right? We can. Absolutely we can. And of them are going to be the correct answer. And in both cases, if you treat it as jumla haliya, give me the status. Fi mahalli nasbin. If it is treated as jumla to sifa, give me the status fi mahalli nasbin. And both work, right? Both will be correct answers. And with that, I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. See you all on Saturday, inshallah, and inshallah we'll continue to learn. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me and or to Sister Faiza. I'm going to be answering them for every one of you on this coming Saturday. And no private answering. It's going to be, everyone should benefit from good questions, because every time I have a good question, I always feel inclined to share it with the rest of you, because there's so much to learn from the question, right? So like today we have learned so much from the question la al muhmila. So now you know that if I have to negate a subject that is proper, I have to use la muhmila, right? Alhamdulillah. So I will leave you here. So take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.